What's up everybody, Justin at S&K Greenhouse, and today I'm giving you 10 beautiful trees for privacy screens. Let's jump in. Now in case you're new to gardening or new to researching privacy screen trees, I'm going to be giving you some new trees that have came out in the last few years and some good old standbys. This is a good old standby. This is the green giant Arbor. This is a large growing tree, somewhere around 25 feet tall, 10 feet wide. I call it a good old standby because it just works. It grows very dense, year-round green foliage. It's a fast grower. It's going to grow maybe 2 to 3 feet a year after it gets established. And I really like it over many of the cypresses like Leland cypress because it's resistant to bagworms, disease, rust, and just other pests that seem to torment these type of trees. So if you need a big area covered with lots of privacy, check out Green Giant Arbor. Next one on the list is the American Pillar Arbor. No, this is not Green Giant, American Pillar. It just came out a few years ago. Let me tell you why this is going to become probably the #1 privacy screen tree. You get all the benefits of the Green Giant Arbor with the height and the disease resistance, the cold and deer and heat tolerance, all that stuff. Except for it stays very narrow. This one's only going to get about 4 feet wide, but it's still going to get 25 feet tall, and it can grow up to 3 feet a year, making this a perfect buffer if you have like a tall balcony or tall deck. It's great, not to mention it grows very dense. You're not going to be able to see through this one, and you're going to have excellent privacy. The next one on the list is the Carolina Sapphire. This thing is beautiful. Lacy, silvery blue, year-round foliage. It's going to get somewhere in the 20 to 30 foot tall range, 15 to 20 foot wide. But guess what? You must have really good parents because it's going to be well behaved. You're not going to have to prune this to keep it in a nice pyramidal shape. This is very drought tolerant. So if you have dry spells where you live and you need something that you don't have to water every day, this is going to be great. It's also very deer resistant. The needles are just kind of, they're not sharp, they're pretty soft, but they just don't have the texture that's appetizing to animals. So definitely keep this one on your list if you need to cover a big area and have dense privacy. Up next is the waxy leaf privet, also known as Ligustrum recurvifolium because of the curly, waxy broad leaves. This is going to have some fragrant white blooms in the spring, so that's a little bonus. It is evergreen. It grows very dense. It's an excellent wind blocker. Part to full sun, drought tolerant. It's going to grow about 8 feet tall, 6 feet wide. If you don't need a very tall tree for your privacy, look into this one. I love this privacy screen tree here. This is cherry laurel, bright and tight. Now if you have a lot of shade or sun, this one's going to be great. Laurels typically can do pretty good even on like a wood line. So if you have nearby trees shading out the area, maybe check out this one. It's going to have showy white blooms in the springtime. It's going to get about 8 to 10 foot eventually. It's a moderate grower and about 6 to 8 foot wide. It's got beautiful glossy broad leaves. It's got a dense growth habit, and it's going to offer you plenty of privacy for years to come. Here we have the Nellie Stevens holly. This is a woody, broad-leafed, evergreen shrub, and let me tell you my favorite thing about it. The red berries in the winter. Yes, it's absolutely stunning. The leaves are a little bit prickly, but you can take advantage of that and make a nice little barrier. Now the height could be anywhere from 20 feet tall, maybe around 15 feet wide. It's pretty great in full sun, but it can also tolerate a good bit of shade and offer you tons of privacy. Ho, 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 we have the North Pole Arbor. Looks a lot like the emerald green Arbor, the more classic privacy screen tree. But what I like about this one, it seems to have a better central leader. So you don't have as many competing leaders like sometimes you would find on the emerald green, although I do love emerald green. But you still get this very dense, dark green foliage. It's absolutely beautiful. It's heat resistant, drought tolerant, deer resistant. You just got to keep it watered until it gets established. This is a great tree for a narrow space if you still need to get that privacy. Again, maybe you have a small lot. This one's going to get about 10 feet tall and just a few feet wide. Up next we have the shrubby yew podocarpus. Now this one's a pretty slow grower, but I love it because it's low maintenance. It has a lot of, let's say, salt tolerance. So if you're near the coast, this is going to be a good one. It will slowly reach about 8 to 10 feet tall, 3 to 4 feet wide. It has improved pest and disease resistance. And this is another one of those that you can put in sun or shade. All right, this one's for you fancy people. If you want something that just looks prestigious, we've got the Tailor Juniper. This is going to reach about 20 feet tall and just a few feet wide. Now the reason I mentioned this one for privacy is because I did a job a couple years ago where there was a backyard that had a concrete patio that butted up to this chain link fence, and there was a very small space, but the client still wanted privacy. One of the only trees I could find that would work was the Tailor Juniper because it stays so narrow, yet reaches a height that gives you plenty of privacy. Think of it kind of like an Italian cypress, except for it's better in a lot of different zones than the Italian cypress. And this one is excellent in part to full sun, very drought tolerant, and very deer resistant. Here we have the Cripsy Noi cypress. I love the beautiful gold fronds. Check that out. In the wintertime, when everything else is dead and just looking blah, this will be a beautiful bright gold color. Now right now it looks like it don't have a lot of shape to it, but as it grows, this central leader will take off and it'll develop a fat pyramidal shape. It's great in full sun, but in shade it will tolerate it, except for it'll turn a little more green. So its best color is going to be in sun that at least 6 hours or more. It's going to get about 12 to 15 feet tall and about 8 feet wide. Well, there you go, folks. I hope this video was very helpful. Let me know down in the comments which one was your favorite tree. And if you haven't done so already, it would help things out a lot if you just go ahead and hit that old subscribe button so you can get notified every time we release a new video. And until next time, become a plant person.